Tonight, a bumpy start to a lengthy court battle from the defense team of alleged Idaho murder suspect Brian Kohberger.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. There's been very little news about the Idaho student murders and almost none regarding the second survivor, whom this channel will continue to simply refer to as B to protect her privacy. Although it's understandable that B is resisting calls by Kohberger's defense, that's not the prosecution. It's not the prosecution asking her to testify. But the latest curveball is that B claims that she saw a naked man running through the kitchen sliding door. I really don't know what to make of that. This is the first we've heard also that B may have been awake at the time of the murders and, like D, also saw someone. The problem for the prosecution potentially is that B and D's accounts are now contradictory, and that could actually help the defense. Before we get to the rest of this episode, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Bear in mind, I've been covering another case in Idaho, the Lori Vallow case, and I've obviously covered the Moscow, the events that took place in Moscow, and I actually went to Moscow over the past weekend. You'll see some of the footage in this video, and who knows, I might actually attend trial when it eventually comes around, so look out for that. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, share, leave a comment. You can also hit the thanks button, and let's get started. Now, according to CNN, quote, an affidavit from a defense investigator used in support of the subpoena claims that B has information that is exculpatory to Kohberger, right? Exculpatory means it helps his case. Inculpatory means that it implicates him. B is obviously one of two roommates who survived the attack at the home. And I must say, when I went to the home on, was it Friday night? And I was also there on Saturday. It is a dark, shadowy presence in the middle of the student fabric. There is a sense of something left undone, lack of closure, obviously. Back to the article by CNN, quote, B's lawyers argued that there was no hearing prior to the subpoena being issued as required by Nevada law, and insisted that one take place before she can be compelled to testify. And this is testifying in a preliminary hearing. So it seems the defense want B to testify at the preliminary hearing in late June. According to the article, quote, typically a preliminary hearing is when prosecutors outline the evidence in a case before a judge, and he then decides whether the trial moves forward. So I think what the defense are trying to do is almost nip the trial in the bud by saying, you know what, there's another roommate that saw somebody else. This person shouldn't even be on trial. Well, you know, isn't it kind of good luck with that? What about the DNA? Anyway, the article goes on to say it's not known at this point what information B has and whether it could help Kohberger and prevent the case from being bound over for trial. Well, that's one article. There's another article in the Mirror that seems to provide more detail. It also refers to a recent affidavit. The article goes as follows. B is alleged to have heard or seen things which could clear the suspect, as Mr. Bettoni argued, will be a crucial witness. Investigator Richard Bettoni, he is working for the defense for Ann Taylor, who is Kohberger's lawyer. By the way, I also went to Kohberger's apartment and sort of snooped around there, got a sense of what it's like, the distance from there to 1122 King Road as well. According to Bettoni, he wrote in an affidavit, during the course of my investigation, it became known to me that B has information material to the charges against Kohberger, and this is the important part. According to the affidavit, B allegedly witnessed a naked man run through a rear sliding door. She lived on the first floor of the home and came face to face with the alleged killer, end quote. Now, we know that D apparently came face to face with a killer, and we know that how he was dressed, we know that he wore a mask, we know that she saw his bushy eyebrows. Well, it seems to be coming to light for the first time that B saw a male figure as well, but this one apparently not wearing anything. Did this one have bushy eyebrows? So how do we make sense of this based on what D has said and what has appeared in the original affidavit from law enforcement? I think we've got to ask the obvious question, which is, on what day and at what time did B see a naked man leaving the house? In a college situation like this, that sort of behavior might not be particularly suspicious. Obviously, it happened that morning or even that night. Then who knows? Maybe it was someone who got kicked out, thrown out the house, and then came back holding a grudge. If the naked man, as I say, was seen on a different date, that could be of dubious relevance. If it occurred on the night in question, that's the first thing. Did it happen on the night in question? And then the other part is she sure that what she saw is what she saw? Was it legit? It could suggest more intrigue to the goings on inside the house than many of us realized. Could the naked visitor have been in D's room or B's room, or for that matter, Kaylee or Maddie's room? Or was it an hallucination? Bear in mind it was sort of a party night. Was it part of a nightmare brought on while intoxicated or high, after hearing screams and noises that she could otherwise not decipher? And then another quote from the article, according to police, B found the bodies of her housemates, but she's now disputing the request to appear. That's something else we didn't know, did we? If B found the bodies, then the logical follow-up question is, when did that happen? What time did that happen? What happened after that? Why was there a delay? So one does kind of want to know what her story is. And maybe there's a way that she can provide it without appearing, without being seen, with some sort of protection from the harsh glare of the media and social media, as you're seeing in the Lori Vallow case. I know we want to see, but will she appear if there aren't those protections in place? In any event, I think it's disturbing the sense that B doesn't seem to want to participate in the trial, whether for the defense or the prosecution. She's lost her roommates. Doesn't she want justice? Maybe maybe it's a bit of self-preservation. Maybe she's trying to just get on with her life. Maybe she realizes just the cost and the devastation of having something like this shadowing you, and that you're associated with something like that. It's also troubling that there does appear to be a lifeline, or certainly the possibility of one, for Koberger's defense. As mentioned earlier, I visited Moscow a few days ago during the recent jazz festival, and for now, at least, there's a sense of calm, a sense of things coming back to normal. But I wonder if it's not a calm in sort of late April, early May, the calm before the legal shitstorm starts in June. What do you guys think? So the intrigue surrounding the legal position of B will add to that sense of insecurity. We know that this whole case sort of blew up on November 13 and shattered the sense of security in the small college town. There's been a bit of a sense of healing and recovery, and now that sense of uncertainty is starting to brew and percolate again. And so just in that same way, this house is emblematic, this boarded up house in the middle of a lively neighborhood. In the same way, this situation with B casts a shadow over the fragile closure that has been seemingly achieved until now. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.